Whenever you have a problem, fix it. But sometimes, the way you fix it only makes things worse. And unfortunately, that was the case at Clapham Junction in the United Kingdom. In 1988, British Rail decided to replace their old signals with new ones. They then got to work replacing the older signals with newer ones. When it came to the Clapham Junction signal, it was not wired correctly. But there was something haunting down that line. On December 12, 1988, British Rail Class 413 EMUs was packed with passengers. The driver was getting nonsensical signals from the Clapham Junction master. He said there was nothing wrong with the signals. The driver knew that was nonsensical. Another train, made up of Class 423s, also got nonsensical signals too! The 413 train stopped, and the 423 rear-ended that train. A third train, which thankfully didn't have any passengers, but only running light, tripped over the wreckage, and if that wasn't enough, a fourth train went right down the rails, but thankfully it was just coasting. When the driver of the fourth train saw the wreck, he stopped in time. The wreckage was piled and twisted. Looked like something that came out of the Blitz bombings during World War II. Passengers climbed out of the train. Some school children in a boarding school also helped out and were later commended by the then Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. And we all heard 35 people died in the wreck. But the survivors who got out of the train alive were wondering, why? Why did this have to happen? And why? An investigation revealed that the cause was due to signal failure, in which the signal's equipment was very old, and they didn't know, but they knew to replace the signals. And soon after the wreck, British Rail was fined £250,000. To Americans like me, that is 335 million US dollars. "31 years have passed since the incident, but the lessons may have been forgotten. A pair of redundant points sent a train was seen by the driver of a train, in which he stopped it just in time before he even had an accident with his train. Now that's evidence of someone forgetting the lessons of Clapham Junction. So this is asking Americans like me, with a wreck like Will there be a wreck like Clapham Junction ever again? I sure hope that's a 100% no.